Hi, I'm attorney James Betzold, and if you're a new lawyer recently out of law school, or maybe you just passed the bar, where you are now, I once was. I was starting my own law firm right out of law school, and I've got some tips that can help you move things along. I hope you find it helpful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sue that company. I'm going to collect 33% of the overall recovery, and then I'm going to earn a huge amount in attorney's fees because under that statute that we're going to sue under, it provides for attorney's fees, and going to make millions of dollars. It's easy, and then I'll be set. Then I won't have to work anymore. That's pretty much what they told us, right? That's what we thought. If you've ever watched a movie about lawyers, or John Grisham novel, read a John Grisham novel, or seen one of the movies made from that, there's some of them have this theme of like, you sue the big company and you get a huge windfall. And a lot of attorneys think that. They think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to be a civil litigator, we're going to sue, and we're going to do this and this and that. Well, today I want you to just beware of the one big case. Every young attorney dreams of getting that one big case that gets them set for life. As a new attorney, you're constantly looking for opportunities to increase your knowledge, your experience, and benefit from potential opportunities that come through your door. And I recall that as I was starting my practice, there were a number of opportunities. Well, a number. Occasionally, they would present themselves to work on cases as co-counsel, or maybe somebody came in the door with it seemed like a big case at the time, where I wouldn't be getting paid immediately, but if I would wait and just work on the case and keep track of my hours and my bill, then at some future point, the case could go well, and then there was a promise that I would get paid then. And there's whole practice areas like that, and that's legitimate and that's fine. But as a new attorney starting out, there's some unique challenges with that, because you still have to pay for your rent, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to pay for food, you got to pay your student loans, and if you can't make it in the meantime while you're waiting for that big payoff, you may not make it at all. Here's the thing, just some thoughts on this topic. Even if your client has a good case, you have the law on your side, and it appears that the facts are on your side as well, you're probably not at a point in your career where you can afford to waste time or to gamble your entire future on one case. And if you look at the law firms that typically handle large civil litigation cases, physical injury cases, and anything that gets expensive like that, or that gets big like that with a huge promise of a payoff at some point, they're larger firms. They're not typically a solo attorney or a two-person firm. And the point is, even the larger firms that handle those cases handle other cases too, because even they know that either the law or the facts can go sideways on them. The law, the facts, or the judge can go sideways on them. No, let's do the law, the facts, the judge, or the client, right? I remember being in one case where I don't even remember what all the details were, but the client was being deposed about this. I don't know if it was a medical injury or something they were suffering. And the question was asked, do you ever use cocaine? And there was an embarrassing answer which undermined the entire case. So something could always go wrong. Handling cases like that, you want to do it delicately, if at all. Everybody loves the idea of getting rich quick, and that it's no less attractive to attorneys than it is to someone in a multi-level marketing scheme, not to equate the two at all. But you like that idea of arbitrage. Oh, all I got to do is move this here, do this here, and then I'm going to get some payoff, and it's going to either pay me back or give me some more money than I was hoping, or something like that, right? And even the physical injury cases, those firms have multiple cases. It's not one big case that's going to put you into retirement, typically. So success in the legal field isn't built on that one big case. It's built on multiple cases over an appreciable period of time where you're doing good work and you're communicating well with your clients and they're happy. That's success in the legal field, at least in the private practice area. So it's built on doing the right thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. And they tell their friends and their family, and all of them come to you for work. Don't get sucked in to a trap, right? It's not a trap, but it could be a vicious cycle of just, if we could just hold on. It's like being in a startup, right? If we could just hold on one more month, we can make payroll then, and then we'll get out of debt, and then we'll do this, and then we'll do that. At some point, you got to look at your bank account and say, you know what? This is not consistent with my financial or professional goals. I am not going to be able to competently handle this and maintain my happiness or my house or payroll or whatever else it is you need to pay in the meantime. So keep that in mind as you're starting out your firm. You need to just think about, are these a type of case that I want to be handling? Is it going to take up too much of my time? It could be something that's highly valuable. And there are ways to handle it well. One more thing to be aware of before we get to sort of how to handle these if you do decide to take them. Remember, there's many statutes out there that do offer attorney's fees if you take the case and are successful. But not always are they automatic. So you need many times, it's depending on the statute, right? Many times you need to win the case in order to get the attorney's fees. You may find yourself thousands of dollars in depositions and in court reporter fees and in copies and in mail, postage, paying your staff to work on the case. And if you don't win that case, you may not get attorney's fees or a recovery to pay that. So attorney's fees, not always automatic. And then the amount of attorney's fees, it's not going to be a windfall either. What you're doing is you're working and you're keeping track of your hours, and you're at some point going to have to tell the court, Judge, here's my bill, here's what I charge per hour, which has to be reasonable, and different judges may think your amount is unreasonable because back when they practiced law 100 years ago, they only charged $25 an hour, whatever. So there's that. That could go south on you. And then there's the number of hours, also have to be reasonable. So there's that. It's not going to be some magical windfall or some magical arbitrage just by getting an amount of attorney's fees. You need to show that you've already worked to earn those. And again, on those cases, it could be iffy whether you get them at all. So you probably don't want, at least when you're beginning, you don't want that to be your whole practice. Now, if your agreement with your client allows you to take a percentage of the overall settlement, like in a physical injury case, you still may be called to account for what you've done in the case. Accurate record keeping is going to be important. And that brings me to our sponsor, Prima.Law. So, Prima.Law is cloud-based case management, legal case management, where you can track the time that you worked on a case. You can add time to notes and tasks and phone calls. You can have a complete record. You can generate an invoice based off of that. And if you're in a practice area where you need to offer financing or payment plans to your client, you can do that as well. We have an easy way to calculate those. And you can stay on top of your funds. You can separate your business funds from your trust funds. So you can see what was paid into your trust account and then transfer that over via an invoice when it's time to transfer funds. So Prima.Law, you can find a free trial at Prima.Law. Sign up today. You got nothing to lose. It is the most cost-effective legal case management system out there, because we built it to be efficient. It literally, the way it's built, uses resources efficiently, and a lot of those savings you'll see as you sign up. So take a look. Now, let's go back to talking about that one big case, okay? Because if you do decide that you want to take some of these cases and get your feet wet and develop that practice area, it's absolutely legitimate to do. Here's some options you have. First, you may find another firm who's willing to work the case with you. This can be very valuable to you and your potential clients because you may not have the money to bankroll actually working on the case. You don't get attorney's fees up front from the client or from the court or anything like that. You may be in a situation where you have to pay for plane tickets to fly to go do depositions. You just pay the other costs associated with the case, like filing fees, like, you already talked about if you need to do possible travel, paying your staff to work on the case, paying yourself to work on the case. You don't get that up front. But you may be able to partner with another firm that will cover some of those requirements for you, especially if it's a firm that is sort of a specialist in that area and they're always looking for new work. They may let you tag along on the case and learn a few things about how to handle those cases on your own. So that's an important thing. Again, you want some sort of, typically you want a written agreement when it comes to something like that, at least some sort of written agreement, just so you can have those expectations of, yes, I can expect this, but I can't expect that. I can't expect that, but I can expect this, because in order to make these cases work, many times there's going to be expenses. And you got to be able to say, you know what, I took a loss on this case, tried my best, did what we could. That's more of a luxury. It's more easy to do when you've got years under your belt and the funds in the bank account for it as well. Even if the law's on your side and you think the facts are, like I said before, you may discover something that ruins your case completely. Sometimes clients lie. Sometimes they think that by lying, they're actually doing you a favor or doing the right thing. But anytime they lie, it's just going to screw up your case because it will get found out. The other side has attorneys as well, and they're probably not idiots. So, they went to law school too, so they're not. Yikes. So again, I don't mean to dissuade you from taking these types of cases, but you're a brand new attorney. And if you're just opening your firm, you're going to need to balance that out. So these are some techniques you can use. Co-counsel with someone, find a sponsoring attorney. I wouldn't recommend going into debt to take a case. I know there's litigation financing companies out there, but you're always going to be on the hook if it goes south. And like I said, you never really know until you know. And I guess the whole reason that we decided to do one episode on just beware of the one big case is because it's attractive. It's like the allure of a siren on the shores of Greece, which will lure you to your death. As a new attorney, you're probably in a financial situation where you may not have quite that luxury yet. But keep working hard, keep up the hustle, make friends, co-counsel with other firms, and you can find a way. All right, I'm attorney James Betzold. Have a great day.